I think I'm about to give you the most annoying advice you've ever heard. What's up, you guys? I'm Richmond, aka Hearthsinger, the head bard in charge around these parts, and today on Hearthsinger Games, we're going to talk about writer's block. I think as storytellers, this can affect us in different ways on either side of the table. Maybe it's a DM who feels that they can't live up to the powerful effect their last arc had on the party, or maybe it's a player whose favorite character just died in an epic battle and they just can't imagine their way into a new adventure. Sometimes, for whatever reason, there's just a wall. And I'm here to give you some tips about how to knock it down. For me, I need that creative energy stored up for yes-anding and adjusting to my players' choices at the table. Actually running the game and being fluid and flexible is what takes the most out of me. And one way to conserve that energy when I'm feeling burnt out is to incorporate pre-written one-shots or story arcs into my campaign. This way, a lot of the hard stuff for me, like balancing encounters and creating maps and puzzles, is taken care of, and I can focus on the things that I enjoy more. Based on how my players interact with that material, I usually come up with a few spicy ideas for the next arc. Depending on your level, grabbing something from the Essentials kit, or maybe Rime of the Frost Maiden, or even from the upcoming Candlekeep Mysteries book might work well for you. Another tip is throwing your adventurers into a good old-fashioned beach episode. Put these badasses in a completely fun and silly scenario separate from the main questline. Maybe it's a volleyball tournament, or maybe it's helping a wannabe bard transform his tavern into a black box theater. That is something that actually happened at my table once, and it was one of the most memorable sessions of D&D that I've ever had. Or maybe you spend a few sessions training a new set of adventurers to care for your home base and take care of all the small stuff your group can no longer be bothered with. You're just too cool. Whatever it is, just find an easy, fun hook and take the pressure off of yourself to deliver something super meaningful in every session. Give yourself the same freedom and space that you give to the players at your table to just relax and create something fun with your friends. When I'm really coming up dry, I tend to go back and reread my player characters' backstories. I like to mine these for cool integrations into the main storyline, but I can't always involve every part of everyone's backstory on the first pass. So when I come back for a second pass, I'm usually sending follow-up questions to the players about particular things that stand out to me that we haven't already addressed. Anything I need to do to deepen my understanding and expand on certain points. It might be their relationship with a particular sibling, or something about where they got their education, the mention of a particular town. It's honestly the best way to take pressure off of yourself when you get curious about what they're creating. A general note for writer's block is to try changing your environment and your surroundings. If I can't get started with something, I often find that taking a walk or moving from my office to the couch might stir something new. And if there's nowhere to go, which honestly in the current pandemic is a freaking mood, I recommend something as simple as changing the music you're listening to, or making a pass at cleaning your room and then trying again. You might find that your mind is less cluttered and ready for something new after that. Sometimes the thing that inspires me most is actually the environment that I'm sending my players into. Making mood boards on Pinterest has been awesome for that because it gives me a real sense of place, or even NPCs they might meet there. Once I have that sense, I can really start to grab threads of inspiration that might make for a good story. And you can search for creatures and monsters on D&D Beyond based on environment. So if you find an environment that seems inspiring to you, go there and start looking up creatures to populate your world, and before long, a story usually emerges for me. Probably the most annoying part of all of this advice is that it's pretty much, I'm sorry you feel blocked, but I guess keep going till something breaks. I feel like one of the most important pieces of advice I ever received is that you won't always get to create when you feel creative. We love that shiver up the spine we get when something hits us, when an idea sparks that really excites us. But if that's the only time that you can ever make something, you'll find you leave very few creations in your wake. Embrace the block. The block is good. The block means that you're actually getting down to the real business of making something special. The more comfortable you become with getting through it, more comfortable you become with being uncomfortable, the less intimidating it is. It doesn't own you. You own the block. It's your block. You walk around it as many times as you want. This metaphor is getting away from me. So I guess tell me, how do you work through writer's block? Throw any tips you have in the comments below because I'd love to hear them. I hope this was helpful. Writing this video was honestly what I used to get me through my writer's block this week, and if it helped you, then please give me a like and subscribe for more weekly tabletop RPG content right here on this channel. You can also catch up with me on these socials. I record session planning and tabletop roundtable discussions over on my Twitch, so give me a follow there as well so that you know when I'm live. There are even more tools, community events, and content on my Patreon as well if you want to support what I'm making. My content is also supported by the folks at The Wandering Merchant. They buy and sell used D&D books and miniatures and more, and you can find a link to check them out in the comments section below. You can use code Hearthsinger at checkout for 10% off. And with that, guys, I am out. Get out there and live your quest life, and I'll see you on our next adventure. And I need it now, tonight. I need an idea more than ever. And if I can get myself to write, we'll be rolling dice together. That's gotta be good enough.